Go, 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 go.
Now that's a lot of damage!
4 hours, 40 minutes. I think 4 hours and 35 minutes was full on like a crit race. Hey, my name is Tyler. This is me, and this is 500 guys that want to rip my legs off. This dude is not impressed. So we are in Indiana, right around this spot for the Dust Bowl 100, where the course is insane. There's 160 turns on this course. It is wild. So today we're going to talk about this race. We're going to talk about how I did. It is like a 100-mile crit race. But let's just jump straight into this thing. Yo, we have so much to talk about. This was such a fun race. There were so many people in this race, and to be honest, I rode probably one of the best races I've ever done. Now let's talk about the bike first. Dude, sick bike. This bike was money. The brand new Grail CFR, the 1x oval with the integrated TT bars. We're going to talk a lot about that because these cheater bars absolutely saved me. Now, my entire kit setup, I'm running all black, running the Velo toes, and yes, dude, I am recording this whole thing with a GoPro in my mouth. We have to set up the excuses, which is that I can't breathe. Now, how did I even get here? Well, this super cool kid, the son of the guy who puts on this event, had did this video and was like, come out. So I'm like, I'm coming out. And dude, he was so rad. And I got to cook for their entire family. I made them tacos and like whatever you can say, whatever you want about plant-based. Dude, I crushed the tacos. It was so much fun, and that kid was so rad. I'm a big family guy, and so getting to spend time with other people's family, especially the ones that are bringing me out to an event and letting me be a part of what they have worked so hard for, was amazing. So great start to the event. We hit the gravel. Dude, absolutely getting pelted by these rocks. It was like a war zone. I mean, we're getting roosted. Just listen to this. It was absolutely crazy. Now, a big part of this race is these turns, 160 these turns. So what's your bike handling skills like? What's your tire pressure? What's your whole setup? Because it was just sprint, turn, sprint, turn, sprint, turn the entire time, which made it extremely fun. A lot of times, sometimes gravel races get super boring. It just kind of like you sit in and whatever. And because there was no major selector in this, the turns, that was the villain. And there's just so many. So you have to stay up front, right? Gotta know how to handle your bike. But let's talk about the tire pressure. So you've got big tires, low pressure, to little tires, high pressure. You know, you could run like 50s to 46s to 44s. Yeah, I was personally running 42s. You could run 38s, 36s, 34s. Now we're getting into like road tires, which some people were doing. Again, out of this whole spectrum, and what I chose is I went with a 42 with about 35 PSI. So it gave me good traction, but still it was a little sketchy in the turns. But you know, I didn't think I was gonna crash. But a couple times I would like unclip because like the front end would tuck a little bit and I had to kind of like dab my foot. But you got to make a choice. Like, are you gonna do good in the turns? Or are you gonna do good on the flats and the high speed stuff? And then, bro, everyone's 1,000 IQ in this. I'm like, oh, okay, so we're just gonna run over people's yards. That's the way to do it. Get off this loose gravel, because it's like in the turns, bro, it's basically like an ice rink. Now, recently I've bulked up, and I actually hit the gym when I was out here. Bro, I'm shredded right now. It's sick. And so I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna crush all these skinny boys. None of these were skinny boys. So yeah, I can like out climb the sprinters or out sprint the climbers, but dude, everyone here, because it's flat, everyone's jacked. So it's like it doesn't even give me any benefit. It's pretty funny that a flat, super flat 100-mile race, dude, so many crit racers out here, so many powerhouses. So I've got a big brain. Dude, I'm rolling on the grass. I'm trying to get around. There's Andrew, my homie Andrew Jackson. Took him out to Washington, did an impossible route with him. I really like Andrew. He's also super into moto, and so anytime I get a chance to talk about motocross and supercross, because a lot of cyclists really aren't into that, but he is, and so I talk his ear off about moto. Anyways, pretty early on here in the race, and I'm just like, well, I don't know, maybe everyone just like looks at each other, but I don't want to be in the group, you know, because it's, dude, there's chaos, and I've got cheater sticks, so I'm going to get in the TT bars, and yes, everyone hates this, everyone dislikes this, because I'm going to just ride away, I'm going to TT if, you know, But nah, dude, no one was having it. No one's like, yeah, we're not gonna let the guy with cheater bars get away this early on. I did open up the legs a little bit, kind of get a feel. I'm feeling pretty good, but you know, we'll see. So the guy on the very front in the flame kit, Rad Dad Dizzle, I asked him for his footage so I could show the winner. He didn't want to send it, or he wanted money for his footage. But so, you know, he won the race, but like at what cost, dude? You're in a flame kit. Flame on! I'm gonna go very hard on the flame jokes with this guy, so just be prepared for that. So look, the course, a mix of loose, sketchy gravel and like great pavement. And so when there's great pavement, I've got to use my ability to turn and to get up. So and look, a lot of times I don't do very well, or I'm like really hesitant, but I rode a great tactical race. Cheater mode off. Let's switch that on. Now these aero bars, like whatever, dude, you could say whatever you want to say about them. Maybe they look goofy. As soon as I get in these sticks, these guys are pissed. They're like, bro, I can't get any draft off you. Again, everyone hates this, okay? No one likes a dude with TT bars, but they saved the day. They saved the day. They saved me from getting dropped, I would say 10 times. They were such a lifesaver. But like, again, a lot of surging, right? A lot of surging out of these turns. And if you could be far up front, you don't have to surge very much, right? You can take the line you want to, but if you're far back, if you're 20th, 30th, 40th, if you're 100th wheel, dude, there's just no way you're going to survive these 160 turns, right? Because everyone here at the front slows down a little bit, and then it accordions, and that slowdown just like propagates all the way through the field. So everyone wants to be at the front, right? If you want to do good, you need to be in the top 10. And so we've got our flame boy getting up there, absolutely attacking. He wants to win. Everyone's chasing him because he was the marked rider. Like, he's the guy that's supposed to do well. So everyone marked him a ton. And this race was fully on the entire time. And I know that I have a lot of excuses all the time, and people are like, oh, you complain. Cheater mode. I like racing. That's what I like to do. So I don't really care how I do or whatever the case is, but what's so dumb is when you travel across the country and there's no racing. You know what I mean? So that's frustrating. This course lent for just great racing the entire time. And you had to have good bike handling skills. You had to have a good bike setup. You had to have a variety of fitness skills. And again, the cheater sticks. Now it's like an integrated system with Canyon. So these aren't clip-on bars. This is their own pace bar system. And so they just like integrate straight in. Dude, you can adjust them. Bro, so good. And so here's our Rad Dad Dizzle hitting the flame kit off the front. And yeah, there's the little gap opening. That's fine. I don't need to empty the tank to close this because cheating. Right? I'm just going to throw myself into the aero position, and then all these people like, God, dude, so pissed. Like, I hate this guy so much. Get out of here. Why do you have TT bars on? Everyone just cursing me because they can't get any draft. But sure, go around me, dude. I'll take your draft. That's all good. I'm gonna close that gap anyway off very little watts. Now I have fallen back a little bit. Dude crashes. Fall back a little bit, so I do need to try to make it further up again. Dude, if you're outside of the top 20, your legs are getting murdered out of these 160 turns. Cheater sticks and cheater lines. I mean, everyone's using it. This guy's poor front lawn, you know what I mean? He's like mowing it, he's like taking care of it, and then you've got 500 riders just like, dude, sick lawn, brah. And in these sticks, I'm doing, okay, if I was going to close down this gap, if I was going to be out in sort of no man's land or pushing wind, I'm doing 350 watts. In the TT bars, I'm doing like 250 to 275. And so the advantage of these TT bars is so insane that it was just like, I was questioning, you know, one, on how does it look, because it kind of like from a POV standpoint doesn't really look that cool. And also people were like, dude, there's so many turns, you're never going to use them. You're never going to be in the sticks. I used them a lot. So right here, we got this guy with the banana sticking out of his pocket. He almost got me dropped twice, actually. One I don't have on film. This one right here where he's like, hey, cheater guy, cutting courses and using sticks. Close the gap. I'm like, it's cool, bro. I got it. I got this. I will close this gap. Now, again, this is sort of like forbidden lane. But with the TT sticks, I'm green to go. I absolutely can take this because I don't need to be in the draft as much as everyone else, so I can use this to move up. Now, I am recording everything on a GoPro, and this comes into play later as of where I could not change my battery. That was most races I'm changing batteries 3 times during the race, like whatever. It is what it is. I got to get the shot, right? I don't get paid to ride my bike fast. I get paid to tell stories. So I got to tell stories. I got to make the shot. And with how technical this was and how many turns there were, I could never access my GoPro to change the battery. So I miss a good chunk of the race, but I did make sure to get our flame guy. Flame on! Every time. Every single time I got him. Again, he wins the race. So, you know what I mean? Who cares? But again, at what cost to wear an entire kit made of flames? Now I want to show you here where this guy right in front of me absolutely uncorking it, goes to stand up, and look at his rear wheel. His rear wheel is getting no traction, right? It's just like fishtailing everywhere. And that is something that it's so impossible to show you, but how loose the gravel was when you stood up, when you surged, when you tried to close these gaps. You could do 900 watts and not go any faster. You're just like spinning your wheel. So you had to stay seated most of the time to apply power. And so then with my TT bars, look at that guy goes, you're getting dropped. I had to close this gap. And then he looks back and I'm just super speedy, man, closing the gap off of no watts, being so efficient, so very efficient. Also, these turns, these left rights, like I come from moto, right? I race motocross, I've raced street bikes. I love racing. I love banging bars. That to me is so much fun. Obviously I'm a little better at the ultra distance stuff, but like, dude, a 30-minute flat out tight crit, that's the funnest thing to me. I'm in my super awesome 3D printed, custom fitted cav helmet where we actually 3D printed the vents closed. So like I have this aero helmet, super sick. Again, look at all these guys just absolutely cutting the course, but you didn't need to do it there because it's pavement. So you just like ruin that dude's front lawn for no reason. Now I'm pretty fresh. Everything's good. We get Rad Dad Dizzle tried to light me up with the flames. He missed me. My life bar totally full right now. But we are starting to go into some real hard 90s. And this is not my skill set, right? These like surges out of the turn. So it's just like again and again and again and again and again. After like 10 miles, man, I was really starting to feel it with those surges, especially trying to stay up front, because it's one thing if you just fall all the way to the back, but then you'll never see the front. Like if a crash happens, if anything happens, which a crash does happen, and I do not get it on camera, but this is what it was like. There was carnage and bodies everywhere.
All right, dude, big crash, big split. We're so close to catching back on. Let's go. Let's go, dude. Yeah. Yeah, dude, good job. I thought that was it.
I really try to give encouragement to all my fellow racers. I don't know, dude. I have like such a dopamine dump when I'm out here racing, and I feel so bonded to everyone. Like the oxytocin chemicals are just absolutely flowing. Outside of our flame guy, Rad Dad Dizzle, who wanted money for his footage but wouldn't send it to me, then also asked me to shout him out because he wanted to grow his channel and he really needed me to help him out, but he wouldn't help me out, and he also talked shit on a podcast about me. So that's my beef with him. Now we are coming up to a really gnarly section. Everyone knows about this section. This drone shot is from earlier in the day. There's not really a guy off the front, but I just want to show you that like it's still this packed. Like 50 miles in, there's still so many guys. And so then what's the plan? Well, my plan, get the shots, okay? Second part of that plan, get to the bridge, top 5. Everyone else's plan, same thing.
Go, 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 go.
Everyone was racing to make that section first to be in front, but only a handful of people, about 10, made it through there. Everyone else kind of got hung up. So now we have to chase. We got to get back on, dude.
Right, on your right. Let's go, dude. Let's get it. Good work, dude. Have fun, dude. You got it. We man, got caught behind 2 crashes, and it is what it is. It's a battle for the front, you know. So I think we're in the second group. This is probably the best we're gonna be able to do for the day. We're halfway through, but I don't think we're catching that front group of like 10. They're gone.
So we were able to make it up to the second group. So the front group was like around 7-ish, 10-ish, something like that. The front group was a little bit bigger, but then actually split. Now, okay, a part of this is that there were feed zones and drop bag zones that you could have dropped bags off and other bottles and hydros. I didn't think that was necessary on a 100-mile flat gravel race. So I'm kind of starting to run out of water a little bit. I'm starting to run out of like food and nutrition, and that's a little bit of a worry. But we're with a sick group right here. I'm feeling pretty good. We're coming up to, I don't know if you remember the Texas rattlesnake gravel grinder, but Sneeko, who was like super cool. This kid's awesome.
Good work, dude. Good work.
As a father and a parent myself, it's really neat to see when other parents are supporting their kids so much, especially with kids that are older than my kids, because I try to see like what's that going to be like when my kid's 16, 17, 18, you know what I mean? What's that dynamic like? Back in the cheater sticks, absolutely murdering with these things. But again, this group was so spicy. You know, we all kind of wished we had not gotten caught behind that crash. Everyone here is feeling like I could have done better, and everyone is just ripping at each other's legs off. It was a murder fest. And so I'm still trying to do my best to be conservative and efficient and take these lines. I could never hit my brakes. Like I was just doing so good, honestly, being so freaking efficient. But vegan excuses. So like I told you, I did not do the drop bag. So I started with 2 bottles and a hydro, which seemed like that would be enough. 100 grams of carbs in each bottle, 200 grams in my U-Sweet pack. But just as the day went and as we were absolutely ripping each other's legs off, I got lower and lower, and now I'm out of water. I'm out of calories. I'm completely empty, dude. 100% my fault for not really I guess, understanding what this was going to be like, but I can only go off of what I've done in the past. And 400 grams of carbs for 100 miles really seems wildly doable. Another part of this was how intense this race was. I've never really done a 100-mile race that was literally non-stop gas racing from the gun to the finish. So then that was kind of another thing, was like I was just using way more energy than I usually do. Also, I'm a little bit heavier, and so I'm able to put out more power. That's awesome, but I am also using more energy. So I definitely needed maybe a whole nother hydro at the drop section. So if anyone's going to do this race, I highly suggest don't skip your drop bag section. All these guys are like, I hate this vegan guy. He's getting us dropped. He's opening up gaps. I hate him so much. And so that's fine. Dude, sprint up the hill. I'm going to get you in my cheater sticks because it's going to flatten out and you guys are going to all start playing games and I'm going to get you. And this is what I did the whole time. We're going to take a gander at our watch here with our super sick Nomad band and just check in, like, what's our heart rate doing? What's our HRV? How are we looking for the future, even though we're severely dehydrated?
No. We're completely fucked.
It's not looking good for us, boys, but we are going to give it our best. Now let's give a little overview of exactly how the race is going on. Top 7, they're up the road. I'm sitting in a group between 8th and 26th. And then we've got another chase group, 27th beyond, behind us. You can see me highlighted by the carrot. I'm sitting about mid-pack inside here. And actually, I was doing a little bit better than that. I was really eager to try to get away. It felt like guys were starting to crack. Like this guy kind of pulls off, right? I mean, guys were opening up gaps. But again, back to the tire chart, I'm running 42s. That was great for the turns. Now that we're on like the pavement, maybe, you could have went 34s or even 32s. I had brought a set of 32s with me, thinking that I would run that. And it's a give and take. I don't care what you have chose. You're going to have a benefit in one part of the course and a disadvantage in the other. And I think if I had 32s, this part would have been way better. This would have been a much more enjoyable part of the race. But I am almost certain I would have crashed my brains out in the first bit where it was so loose and gravelly. And so who cares if you don't even make it to this point because you biffed it, put your face in the dirt, then it doesn't matter. So doing it over again, I'm probably sticking with what I ran, maybe go 36s instead of 42s. It just depends on you. It depends on your bike. It depends on your skills. It depends on your power, right? I don't know what else to say. I felt like my bike setup was pretty dialed. Now, Andrew, I'm Team Andrew. Me and Andrew are Team Canyon, so he's going up the road. We're kind of like, what if you go up and then I'll chase you? So I'm trying to plan my escape from this group because you can't see behind me, but there's about 15 dudes that are doing nothing. Like they're just sitting on the back being big boys. Like, oh yeah, dude, we'll just out sprint you at the end. I don't care what you do. They're just playing the game. And so I'm trying to do my best to get away. And I felt like every single little riser was like, this is it. This is the race. And right up the road, you can see my boy Sneeko and one other, maybe two others, are going up the road. So I'm like, this is my chance, dude. Everyone in the group that I'm with is kind of cracking. I'm going to jump this gap, go into my cheater sticks, close the gap, and make it. So I'm letting that gap open specifically. And then I was kind of hoping Andrew was going to give me a lead in, which he did. He gave me a great lead into this little riser. And it's like, all right, Tyler, this is your time. It's your time to shine. Bro, be a superstar. So I hit it. I'm ripping my pedals off. I am absolutely putting out the most amount of power any human has ever done on the planet. And I get into my cheater sticks and I'm like, dude, I'm going to close this gap. I'm going to be a hero. I'm going to get top 10. Your boy's going to flex on social. And then I kind of look back and everyone is behind me. Everyone's lined up. I have not created any gap. And I'm looking at my power and I'm like, oh yeah, this is not sustainable. So I'm smoked. Like that plan didn't work. So now I'm just like, well, shoot. So then how do we use everyone else to hopefully close down this gap? No one really wanted to do it. Everyone was sort of looking at themselves. And so those two guys that jumped off, dude, they crushed. They actually ended up catching a couple other guys. And so I can't remember the guy's name. I call him Sneeko. Great parents, supported him, awesome kid. He ended up getting 8th. As of where I ended up getting 21st. So that move right there was huge. Like, he got top 10 from that move. Bro, congratulations to that guy. Now, look, sometimes people are like, oh, bro, all you do is complain. I am just explaining the race. Go out and do a race and tell me there's not something, many things in the race where you're like, I wish that hadn't happened. I am having so much fun. This is a phenomenal race. And the races that I've done recently, like the Rattlesnake Gravel Grinder in Texas, this Dust Bowl one here in Indiana, you would think by having like big beyond category climbs or like super technical sections, just the gnarliest races would contribute to better racing. It doesn't. It neutralizes racing, right? If you have some huge beyond category climb, even at the very end of the race, no one races. They're just like, well, I'll just wait till the climb. Since there was no real selection or selector in this course, dude, it was so much fun. You were always racing. You were never alone for the most part, right? Like, we're group 2 on the road and we've got something like 20 dudes with us. It was awesome. The turns made it to where that you had to know how to handle your bike, which I'm not the best motocross racer in the world, but like, I do race. Now, I've recovered a little bit, and so we come into this final section, dude, I'm losing the gap. This is it. I have to go all in. And so I am just absolutely everything I have to get back on right now. And this killed me, dude. I mean, I absolutely waxed through all my bullets to make it back on. I was hoping that once I get back on, we could just cruise it into the finish, I mean, I'm doing 400 watts, something like 90 miles into the race, completely dehydrated, completely empty. Now, I do have to say this, that some of my fellow competitors gave me food. I was like, I'm dying. Please help. Send aid. And so like a bunch of people gave me gels and like gummies. And so, if it wasn't for some of my competitors, dude, I would not be here, right? Now, I'm dead. I'm out. I'm out of life. And this little move right here, it didn't seem like much, but I hit muscular failure. Now, there's a difference between like aerobic failure, running out of nutrition, and just doing the best you possibly can, and your muscles being like, yeah, I have nothing left. It's a totally unique feeling that very few people ever achieve, especially when you get really good fitness. It's very hard to your other energy systems fail before your muscular systems. Well, this one, I had fueled really well and I rode really well. Dude, there was nothing I had. I mean, it was literally completely empty in the legs. Like, I wanted to go, but the muscles were just like, yeah, bro, it's not gonna happen. Now, I sat here about 20 seconds off of them for the last 10 miles of the race. So this just shows to show you the cheater sticks are such the move, because like without the cheater sticks, I have no chance on getting back. But look how close I get to them right on this little riser. I'm like, dude, this is it. I'm going to get back on. It's going to be sick. I'm just giving it everything I have on this kicker. And, even though the perceived exertion was 10 out of 10, my power is like zone 2, zone 3. There's just nothing there, bro. I'm empty.
That's it. I just have nothing left. That's so frustrating.
And that was pretty much that. I sat in the cheater sticks for the last 10 miles. I did connect with one other guy. Me and him kind of rode together for the last little bit. I was doing everything I could. And it's hard to see because the GoPro doesn't have like great long lens. But the group, like Andrew and the guys were right there. I mean, I was so close to... But then it's like, what would have happened even if I had caught him? I don't think I'm out sprinting anyone, but it still would have been whatever. So the Dust Bowl 100. I think that if you are a heavier fella and power is on your side, this is definitely a great race, because there is no beyond category climbs. There are no climbs at all, period. Like, there's little tiny bumps, but there is no real climb. And so that makes it to where that you can kind of feel competitive and be a part of the fun for longer. Now, you definitely need some bike handling skills. The 90-degree turns on what feels like ice is very interesting. And I did do a pre-ride. I did this really cool t-shirt ride beforehand, and started kind of felt out the gravel, but that's not at race pace. It's one thing to ride these roads at like 10 miles, 15 miles an hour. It's another to ride them at 25, 30 miles an hour. So be prepared for that, right? I would say err on the side of the caution of a little bit wider tire. You don't really need tread or knobbies, but like the end part of this course, the last half of this course, way chill. The first half, like to that bridge where everyone crashed, not chill. Very, very difficult, but so much fun. And if you like racing, if you like banging bars, if you like being in there, in it, what a phenomenal race. And then there's not a lot of races that have 500 hitters show up. So, yeah, did I get 21st? Okay. Maybe that's not the best thing you've ever heard of. But honestly, for me, like I was there between 8th and 25th. Like that was my range. Like the best I could have done was 8th. So 21st, not so bad. The stats on this, average speed 21.5. Crazy, right? 100 miles under sub 5 on gravel. Dude, thank you so much for having me out. Dustbowl 100, absolutely ripped. You.
That was intense and super fun. I mean, it was like 99% of that was a race. It was quite insane. Yo.
All right, a couple more announcements. If you think there's a timing issue or a name issue or something along those lines, head down to the timing pit and get that corrected for you. So
This is so dumb to say, but like the humidity, the humidity, bro, is what got me. Like 4 bottles for 4 hours is pretty easy to do in California. Over here, I needed probably another 3 bottles. So that's why there was like feed zones and drop bags, but I didn't think I needed it at all, especially with how flat it was. But dude, it was so much fun and so hard. Like literally out of that, I guess it was 4 hours, 40 minutes. I think 4 hours and 35 minutes was full on like a crit race. You were always racing. I mean, I literally left it all out there. I could not have really rode any better. It was crazy.